Hello, hello. How are you doing? Let me see. Are we live? Sound is on. All right. I have to apologize. It's a little bit earlier than I'm live usually. If you received an email from me this morning saying I'm gonna be live at 4 p.m. Central European Time, that's true. I had to quickly change my plans because this weekend I'm going to Morocco and I realized that my passport expired. So I had to make a very urgent appointment, and the only place they had free today was at 4 p.m. And that's the time I'm usually live, and I'm really sorry about this. I'm still doing our live, but it's a little bit earlier. So if you can't be here live with us and you're watching the replay, welcome. All of those that replied to the email, I will send you the replay straight after so you can watch this in your own time. Let me just quickly save my battery. Righty. Okay. Today we are live to answer a question that I received last week, and I did answer this question to this specific person, but I thought it was such a great question that I want to speak about it with you too. And it was one of our Teach Yoga and English Journey students asked me, how do I know if I'm ready to start for myself? Is this something that you've asked yourself? How do you know if you're ready to start for yourself? Now, the question really has a little bit of a background. So listen, and maybe you recognize yourself in this. It might be partly, it might be completely something similar, right? Right now, this yoga teacher works an office job that doesn't really fulfill her, right? She, like most people here, has a really big passion for teaching yoga. She wants to quit the job that she only really does to pay the bills, or because she thinks she needs to do this because that's what she studied, right? But really what she wants to do is quit it so that she can live her purpose and teach yoga full time. But that transition, quitting a job that is safe and secure to doing something by yourself or for yourself, it can feel really scary, really unsafe, right? And I spoke about this transition last week. So if you want to watch back what it takes to transition from being a teacher to yoga business owner, have a look at that training. It's on the Instagram feed, and it will be on our Your Yoga and English podcast as well next week. So that transition can feel scary, it can feel unsafe, and it can make you wonder, how do I know if I'm ready for this transition? And I know that this person is not alone. You are not alone wondering this. That's why today in this training, I want to help you understand what it takes to start your entrepreneurial journey and give you very clear action steps, because I like structure, I like to take steps. I'm gonna give you some steps to do this. So, how do you know if you are ready to start for yourself, to become your own boss, to start an entrepreneurial journey, to create your own products, your own services? The answer is really simple. It's a simple answer, but acting upon that answer might still feel scary. So I'm going to analyze it with you. The answer is simple, and really it is: listen to your inner calling. Listen to your inner calling. Your inner calling is a personal and an intuitive sense of purpose and direction that originates from within, right? So it's that inner voice that some people do experience or they hear. It's an inner voice or a feeling that guides you toward a particular goal or a particular path, right? It can be many different things. For example, for myself, I'm going to speak about my personal experience with this. From a very young age, when I was really, really, really young, I had the feeling that I didn't want to work for a boss. I had this very clear for myself from a young age. I didn't get what I wanted to do, and I tried many different things. I was a musician, I worked as a translator, I became an English teacher, but that was much after. But that feeling that I wanted to be working for myself was already there. Now, due to social conditioning, so the way that we are raised and the way that we put expectations on each other or on ourselves, but also a fear of unpredictability or a lack of clarity on what you want to create, we do certain things, right? I became an English teacher and obviously a yoga teacher, and I worked in schools and studios. I was hired as an employee and worked on a payroll, like many of you do, which at that time felt safe and secure, and it felt like I had to do that. And that feeling that you have to do that can be because of conditioning, fears, insecurities, or really just a lack of clarity. Now, personally, through these experiences, I learned a lot. And a lot of these things I could later transfer to my own business. But in that time, those jobs really didn't fulfill me. I loved the jobs themselves, the work that I did, but not the things that came with it. For example, I didn't like that I was location bound, meaning I always had to be in the same place because the schools and the studios are located somewhere. I didn't like that I had a fixed schedule, so I needed to be there at fixed times and fixed days of the week. I had to teach according to a curriculum that I didn't agree with, especially in these English schools or language institutes. I didn't agree with the curriculum, and I strongly felt I needed to break free and kept receiving the message that I needed to start for myself, to write an English course or some type of course for yogis and build a course platform or build a space where I can still educate people, but on my own terms. Yeah? So apart from what I knew I had to create, I had a really strong gut feeling. Yeah, gut feeling we can often feel and we can't really explain it, that I needed to do it in Mexico. Why? I have no idea. I had been to Mexico once, but I didn't have any connections. I didn't have experience writing courses. I didn't know anything about business and marketing. Most of all, I felt really scared that it didn't work or that it wouldn't work. Thinking, who am I to write this course? Or who am I to start doing this by myself? But that feeling that I needed to do it was really, really, really strong. I couldn't explain why, but I needed to do it. I just knew this was my purpose or this was my path. It was an inner calling that tells you, or in my case told me, to take action. And I'm sure that many of you experience sensations, feelings, or messages like these. Doesn't have to be the same thing. It will be in your own way. So your inner calling, and as a yoga teacher, you do probably know your inner calling manifests itself in many different ways. Can be 5 things and maybe even more. For example, an inner calling can be a gut feeling. It can be an intuitive insight. Sometimes you just know, 100%, even though it feels scary, that a path is the right one for you. And you can't logically or rationally explain why, but you just know it, you feel it. In my example, that was going to Mexico. Didn't have any logical explanation. It can also be a passion, something that gives you a really deep sense of joy, enthusiasm, and fulfillment. And especially when you do these things, that joy, enthusiasm, or fulfillment are feelings that you experience really strong if you interact with those things or those aspects in your life. For example, as a teacher, it could be teaching, and it could be empowering others or helping others, guiding others. Yeah, for me, it's empowering yoga teachers. It can also be a burning desire to pursue something. Yeah, pursue something specific. This desire is so strong, comes from within, because it's your inner calling, that it motivates you to take action and to make changes in your life. In my example, it was freedom, fulfillment. I didn't want to be location bound, and I wanted to have a flexible schedule. So it can be anything, a feeling, a desire, a sensation that you're looking for. Your inner calling can also, I was going to speak Spanish, can also show itself through core values. Yeah, core values are things that align with your beliefs. It reflects what you feel is truly important and it's meaningful in your life. In my example, when I was teaching curriculums that I didn't agree with, it was breaking free from old-fashioned school systems or learning methods that I know don't work for every single person. Yeah, I wanted to find out learning systems or methods to really meet the individual and understand how to make their learning process the most effective for them. Yeah, so it can be a core value, something that you find really important or that you strongly believe in. And an inner calling can also be a sense of purpose, a feeling that you are meant to do something significant or that you are meant to contribute to a particular cause or a mission. And this can be really broad. It doesn't have to be the thing that you create, but the reason why you create it. So in my example, it's sharing the beauty and the benefits of what our yoga practice has to offer. I'm not just teaching yoga, but I'm taking it a few steps back to empower others to do that. So we create a domino effect together. So your inner calling, to summarize, can be felt, can be seen, because sometimes we visualize it, or it can be experienced through gut feelings or intuitive insights. It can be a passion, a burning desire, a core value, or sense of purpose. And I believe a combination of those things. Yeah, sometimes we even hear messages. So in the world of yoga, when we refer to these messages, we speak about it a lot. But when you have never really learned to listen to them or to feel them, it can be challenging to actually experience or to take them seriously. Because these messages can mean that you need to take a different direction, that you need to create a new path, and it means change and transformation. Especially if they tell you to do something that is new or to step out of your comfort zone, we tend to ignore them because they feel scary or they feel unrealistic. Yeah. In the chat, everyone, write with me. Does this sound familiar? Do we tend to listen or to ignore or neglect our intuition, our gut feelings, because they feel scary or unrealistic? Really just because it means change or transformation, stepping out of your comfort zone. Now, the reason why it can be challenging to listen to your inner calling is that, unfortunately, many of us have never really learned to listen, or they have never learned to act upon our inner calling. Excuse me, let me just turn this off. In other words, most of us are actually out of tune with our intuition, even if we're a yoga teacher. And I felt this way too, right? We might be super aware and do lots, listen, but sometimes I get confused. This makes sense too. Let me speak to that in a moment. Yeah, even though we are super aware and we practice lots of things to gain self-awareness, it can be that we're out of tune with it because we haven't really nailed down, or we still have limiting beliefs or fears that are holding us back. And this can be because of what I mentioned at the beginning, due to social conditioning, a fear of the unknown. It can be doubts, self-criticism, pressure from others, or pressure that you put on yourself, logical or rational thinking, an attachment to comfort, or simply a lack of practice. Many different things that influence us or that impact and hinder us from listening to this inner calling. And it can be that because of all of these things, you get confused, Jolie. Right? You get confused because there are so many thoughts and beliefs and fears that make you think, this is not really true, is it? Is this true, or is this a fear? Or is this because of what other people tell me to do? Or what I expect myself to do in this position? Can be confusing in the beginning. So overcoming these challenges really involves a process of even more self-awareness, self-acceptance, and reprogramming. It requires to recognize your conditioning and your past experiences. All of the things that hold you back, and so that you can consciously work on rewiring, reprogramming your mindset. So reprogramming or rewiring your mindset takes a whole training in itself, but it involves a lot of self-reflection. Maybe you can seek support from a mentor or a therapist and gradually take steps to trust and act upon your inner calling or your intuition. And I really think maybe I will go live to speak about this another day, because I think listening to this and understanding it deserves a dedicated training of itself. Yes, I will speak about this another day. But for now, it may be useful to take some time to reflect on how you are conditioned and what it is that holds you back from listening to your intuition. And you can ask yourself questions, right? For example, what societal beliefs have influenced my decisions regarding my inner calling? What ideas, beliefs, or convictions in society, your culture, or the people around you influence your decision? And have you experienced pressure? Have you experienced pressure to do or to not do something? Pressure can come from externally, so other people, family, friends, your teachers, society, but also pressure that you put on yourself. that you think you need to do something to conform yourself to certain expectations. So have you experienced pressure externally or internally? And have there been moments where you felt a really strong inner calling? And what did you do? Have there been moments that you have felt this? And how did you respond to it? Did you do it? Did you go for it? Or did you ignore and neglect it? Or did you play small? Did you do a little bit but not fully? Yeah, there can be anything in between too. So reflect on specific situations where you chose or what you didn't choose to follow your intuition. What were the factors that influenced this? Yeah, externally, internally, expectations, fears, limiting beliefs, society, anything. Reflect on this for yourself. And you can use these questions when you're journaling. You can visualize it, visualization practices, or comfort zone exercises. Yeah, have a think for yourself. Go through this, do this work. Because if you truly want to start for yourself, doing this work, I believe, is step one. It will influence all the decisions that you're going to take in your business. And there might be some progress or growth that is needed to step into the shoes of a business owner, or to feel ready to call yourself a business owner. So this is really step number one. If you want to start for yourself, reflect on how you act, react, interact, and how you behave or listen and act upon your intuition, your inner calling. And I believe that as a yoga teacher, you've got a huge is another word for big or massive or great, huge advantage because you practice Svadhyaya. Your self-studies play a massive role, a vital role in helping you gain awareness and understand yourself and accept yourself and rewire to develop the confidence to follow your intuition or to follow your inner calling. So use your Svadhyaya practices. Yeah? Now, I've spoken a lot about your inner calling, how to recognize it, how you can listen to it, how you can train yourself to listen to it. But let's speak a bit about going from an idea. Maybe the idea is, I want to host a retreat, I want to write a course, I want to become a coach, or I want to host workshops, right? Can be anything. Your idea to building this independence, to becoming your own boss and to start for yourself. Because when you feel it's there, excuse me, someone is trying to call me. When you feel it's there and when you feel you're ready, it may be that you don't know really how to start, right? Or that you don't have the structures and the systems to start. The number one biggest mistake that I see with the teachers that I coach in our business coaching programs or in our Teach Yoga and English journey, the biggest mistake that I see when they start for themselves is they choose an idea that seems popular. They think it's popular among the yogis that they want to work with. That seems profitable, so they think they can earn a lot or enough money with it. Or it's the easiest option. Yeah? It's either being popular or you think it's popular, it's profitable, or the easiest option. Biggest mistake. Because your intuition, and this really speaks to the confusing part that Yoli Carola said, I do listen, but I get confused. Your intuition may tell you, start for yourself, create something of your own. But then there are fears, limiting beliefs, or lack of clarity, simply not knowing what to do, how to do it, or where to start, that may cause you to, yes, take one step ahead, but still act or play small. Yeah, because you may think, what if I fail? What if people think it's stupid? What will my friends and family think if I have to go live here on Instagram, right? And what if it does take a long time to pay off? Or what if it never will be really successful? There's a lot of things, thoughts, beliefs that we think of or that are holding us back and that cause us to still play or act small. But to find and to create job opportunities that feel truly fulfilling, you want to understand your reason why. The reason why, and then later how you're going to do it, and what the products are and the benefits. But really one thing is why. The answers to the why, how, and what are the foundation of your entrepreneurial journey. They define how you set and how you complete goals, how you take actions when you're creating your own products and services, and thereby how you create your own job opportunities. Now, in my business coaching programs, I will help you in a lot of detail how to set yourself up with your why, how, and what. And this is a method that you may have seen or heard of, created by Simon Sinek. It's a really good book if you're interested in this. So in these coaching programs that we have, I help you build your business with those 3 key pillars. But for now, understand or decide whether you're ready or not to start your entrepreneurial journey. Start with your reason why. And your reason why is not, I want to start a course. Your reason why is, I want to spread the benefits of yoga, or I want to help this group of people with XYZ problem. Your why entails your purpose. It's your biggest desire, your values, your calling. It's the thing that you feel you have been born to do in this life. For example, finding meaning, helping people do or overcome something, or making a difference in this specific life or field. Yeah, it's something really specific and personal to you. And most of all, it almost always, I would say always, but we're never 100% sure, so almost always is deeply connected to emotions. It can be a desire for freedom, it can be a desire for independence, it can be a desire to help others. How you want to feel in the process of creating your own entrepreneurial journey, how you want to feel building your services, and how you want to feel working with your clients is not, it really is not about achieving goals or big numbers in your following, or the numbers on your bank account. I do not believe this has to do with your purpose. Especially if you're a yoga teacher, your drive is linked to a purpose and fulfillment rather than finances or power. I believe, and you can think about this for yourself. I believe it's not really related to numbers or how many people you have on your email list or how many people follow you on Instagram. No, it's really just about feeling that you're living your purpose, your dharma, right? Yoli Carola says, I want to start, but I'm scared because I don't have experience. And I think that others know more than me, and I don't have something great and different to offer. Yoli, lovely. Which is your name? Is it Yoli Carola, or do you go with one of those names? Let me know. I can't see the other people or messages below it. Well, I hope, wait, test. Okay, I hope it's gonna reload. Yoli, you do have something to offer. It's not about being better or greater or bigger than someone else. What you will share with your students is something that you know. It's something that you have lived and that you've experienced. It's something that has brought you some type of transformation, and that will inspire or will help others to either do the same or something similar. And every person in this world is more, let me rephrase this, every yoga teacher is more than just a yoga teacher. You've got your life full of experiences, other things that you've studied. There are things that you're skilled in. And you don't have to be, and the people that are in our programs, you know what I'm gonna say, you do not have to be a university professor to guide your students, right? If you are 20 steps ahead of your people, they will not resonate with you anymore, because you are in a completely, let's say, different dimension, and people don't really follow or understand. We're not really connected anymore. Especially in the world of yoga, and how you're going to combine your skills, your passions, and your expertise, you will probably be 1 or 2 steps ahead of the people that you work with. And that way you can really understand each other and help them one step by step. And as they grow, you grow too. So you can take these people on a really long journey. So let go, and I know it might be really challenging to let go of feelings like, I don't have experience, others know more than me, and I don't have something great or different to offer. Belen, what are you writing? I've been working on this the whole year, on my limiting beliefs since I'm plain small. You may acquire all the knowledge in the world, but your beliefs play a big role in starting a new life. Oh, Belen, thank you so much for sharing. Absolutely. Carolina, all right. So, Carolina, you may think all of these things, and everyone else here too. You may think all of these things, but it means that you're comparing yourself to others. Your students want to work with you because of you, not because you're a yoga teacher, not because you teach vinyasa. There is something about your personality, your experiences, a connection or an energy that they feel, that they resonate with. And that doesn't require academic knowledge of everything. If you're teaching something at a university, maybe it does. But I don't believe that as yoga teachers, we need to go that route. Yeah, this might be because of social or because of social conditioning. So right now, become aware, first of all, what is holding you back. And I'm giving you some extra homework that I will speak about in our Instagram lives one of these other weeks, to reflect on your life experiences, your skills, your expertise, and all the things that you could help people with. Do not underestimate yourself. Do not underestimate yourself. For me, for example, it can be really small things. And I want you to think of everything, because there are a lot of transferable skills that you learned in one job that you can now transfer to your job or the combination that you're creating with yoga. So everything. I'm getting really passionate, and I would like to speak about this a lot more. So I'm going to go live about this specific topic, combining passion with skills, maybe next week or the week after. But for now, take some time to reflect on this. Yeah. Also, navigating challenges on your entrepreneurial path. Yeah. Remember, I said that listening to your gut or trusting your intuition can be challenging, especially if it entails change. And as you start your entrepreneurial journey, you may have many ideas, but you do feel stuck. Yeah, stuck choosing the right business model because you don't know how to create it. Maybe it's something you haven't got experience with. You may overthink the structures, the systems, the methods, or the strategies, and you feel overwhelmed with all the things it entails. It may be that you compare yourself to others, right? We spoke about this, and we underestimate or we devalue our own knowledge, experience, expertise. And maybe you think, first I need to gain experience, or need to get another teaching certificate, or study this, or do that. If any of those fears, those limiting beliefs, or practical challenges come up, remind yourself of two things. Yeah, two things. Look at where you are today. First of all, look at where you are today and how you got here. Building your own business does not happen in one day. It's a process. Like everything else in life is a process. Just as you didn't learn to speak English in one day, or you didn't become an effective yoga teacher in one day, or even after one yoga teacher training, you won't be a successful, thriving business owner in one day either. It's a really unrealistic thought. There's a process to it, right? So remember that. Remember how you got here and all you've learned, all you've done, all the mistakes you've made, all the achievements that you've had in between, but how you got here. It was a process. And building your own business, same thing, a new process, but it takes time. The other thing that you want to remember is that your brain is programmed to learn. Yeah, your brain is programmed to learn and to do new things and be curious and be open and be playful and get creative. If you set your mind to something that is your purpose, that will bring you fulfillment, and that you know is your path, you will find a drive and you will find a motivation to learn. I strongly believe that if you know you're living your purpose, you will make it work. Yeah, building your products, your social visibility, marketing, recording videos, creating systems, or setting up strategies, all of those things are skills. They are not talents that you have or that you didn't have. Yeah, it's not, all of these things you can learn. And I don't want to take myself as an example all the time, but I've learned these things too. When I started, I had no idea about business and marketing. Yeah, so you can learn these things. So number one, what you need to remember, it's a process. It is a process. You're in it for the long run. And everything, number two, you can learn. Your brain is wired to learn. And if you remind yourself of your purpose, you will make it work. You will find the drive and motivation to learn and develop new skills. So stop comparing yourself to others and what you think that you should do or that you should have done already. Yes, sometimes we can be really angry at ourselves for the things that we haven't done yet. Trust your process and do the work to step by step gradually grow. You're building a business for the foreseeable future, not to just host one retreat and then stop. And maybe you host one retreat and realize, actually, I want to write a course, but you're still building a business. Yeah, and that's for the foreseeable future, for the long run, not just for the rest of 23, but for the years to come. And sometimes I compare it to having a baby. Now, having a baby, lots of people, not everybody, because some actually take months or years to prepare, but lots of people, are they really fully ready for the transformation that a baby brings to their life? Yeah, some people are. Some people prepare and they feel completely ready. But nowadays, and I think still, most of us really aren't. As a parent, you learn and you adapt as you go too. We never stop learning. We never stop growing. We never stop making changes, neither in life, neither in our relationships, nor in our business. Yeah, it's just another aspect where you can apply all of your yogic learnings. So your entrepreneurial yoga teaching journey doesn't have to be perfect from day one. And the most important thing is that you keep listening to your purpose, your intuition, and that you keep showing up. You keep reminding yourself of what it is that you desire, your intuition, your gut feeling, and keep showing up, do the work, learn and develop yourself. So I just want to have a look at your comment. I'm a pastry chef, but I want to become a yoga teacher. I see many business ideas possible for you here. I won't share them all with you right now because I don't want to put ideas into your head and influence it. But if you feel stuck, or if you need help, or if you want to discuss your ideas, everyone here, feel free to book a discovery call. If you go to the link in my bio, you will find all resources, and then at the bottom, discovery call, and we can quickly speak about the things that you want to create, or maybe just gain some clarity. It's a free call, no strings attached, so no pressure. Yeah. The other thing is next week and in the following weeks, I will be back to speak more about your entrepreneurial journey. If there are specific topics within the world of yoga business, let me know so I can add it. Well, there are many different topics, but if there are topics that you want to learn about, that you want to know more about, let me know so I can add it to the calendar of these live trainings. Yeah, send me a message or write it in the comments or send me an email at annie@engaunite.com and I will add it to the calendar because as you notice here, I'm really passionate about this topic. At the end of this year as well, we host the Launch Your International Yoga Career, which is a business foundation course. And it will be a course or a workshop series. I'm still defining or deciding on the structure, but I know for sure that what I will help you with is all these things. So overcoming your mindset blocks, defining your reason why, decide on your how and your what, choose your business model, define your ideal client, and also I will provide you with the strategies for social media, for visibility, and for project management so that you can grow and actually build that business that you dream of. So, like I said, I'm finalizing the details still, but you can expect to find more about this really soon. I hope not next week because I'm traveling to Morocco, but the week after. So sign up to the wait list. There's a wait list also in the link in my bio. Launch and expand your international career. Sign up to that so that we good publicity our retreat. Could you send me a private message about this? Because I am working on publicity for other people. So have a look at that. Send me a message about this, Duat. Yeah, send me a message on Instagram here. Yay, Jessica, that's so great to hear. Can't wait to meet you. Really nice. Really excited to see you in a discovery call. So, things to remember if you want to learn more about this. Number one, the topics that you want to find out more about, send me a DM so I can add it to the calendar. If you want to join me and learn about all of these things in much more detail and receive my support with building your business, sign up to the waitlist, Launch Your International Career. Link is in my bio. And I would love to hear more from you as well, because I believe that we can learn a lot from each other. So share your experiences, share your thoughts, write them in the comments here, send me DMs, send me an email if you want to. And if you would like to directly share your insights or things, or the way that you have grown in your role as a teacher, or the way that you have built your business, I would love to interview you. Because I think that all of your stories, everyone's story is unique, but you can really inspire each other and those in our community. So send me an email at annie@engaunite.com if you want this, if you want to share with our community how you've grown in your role, what you've done, what you're creating. And it doesn't have to be perfect already. Yeah, it can be anything. So I hope that this has been useful. I'm just going to quickly double check. Let me see. Double check. If you have questions still, write them as I'm still here. There we go. Just making sure that I'm not missing out on your messages or questions. All right. So what we're gonna do, I will see you next week. I'll be back to speak about things related to your entrepreneurial journey. Maybe it's skills and passions. Maybe it's something else. Send me what you would like to learn and sign up to the waitlist in the meantime. Yeah? Sending you lots of love. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sorry for the confusion of the time or for my change of plans. So if you're watching the replay, thank you for watching as well. And I can't wait to see you next week. Usual time. So sending you lots of love and have a great rest of your day. Goodbye, everyone.